This stationery haul is so juicy it wouldn't fit in a single box. I'm welcoming a whole bunch of new additions to my stationery family, from stickers and washi tape and papers through to useful stuff like glue tapes and cutting mats, and some really wacky pens. Hi, my name's Erin, and I'm really curious, what's your favourite category of stationery? For me, I think it's washi tapes. Just while we open the boxes up, in case you're not familiar with Journalsay, they are a discount stationery store based out of China with a truly enormous range of products. What I'm about to show you in this video is barely the tip of the iceberg, and I have done a bunch of Journalsay hauls in the past too. In case you want to see any of those on my channel, check it out. This box is just washi tapes. That makes me so happy. If you happen to be watching this video before the 6th of April 2025, then congratulations, you can still make use of the spring sale Journalsay have running right now. But if it's after the 6th of April, you're not missing out. Don't worry, I have a discount code for you. You can just type in Erin at checkout and save 8% off your order anytime. In the spirit of full disclosure, Journalsay have provided me with all of the goodies I'm showing you in this video for free, which is very generous of them, and if you do use my links in the description or my discount code to make a purchase, I will make a little commission for sending you their way. Let's get into our first stationery category for this video, which is stickers and little paper bits. And this haul is the unofficial Amorphous Blob haul, because I seem to have picked lots of Amorphous Blob type categories of stationery. Like this one, I have picked two colours of watercolour Amorphous blobs here. I like how sort of magical these ones look. They are kind of like an alcohol ink art effect. Beautiful, warm, kind of deep browns, almost reddish, and check out the beautiful reflection in the gold part too. I also grabbed them in blue, and I have a pretty strong feeling you'll be seeing these ones featured on my channel soon in a journal plan with me video, probably for the mystery journal. Keep an eye out. Again, beautifully amorphous, beautiful depth of colour, and that beautiful shiny reflection too that always makes me so happy. These ones go for $2.14 each Australian, and sorry, the prices that I show in the screenshots in this video are all Australian dollars. I forgot to change it before I took my screenshots. This silvery sticker set says wedding in the listing name, but I think it's a little bit more fantasy fairy tale than strictly wedding. The colours of these ones I think are spectacular. Beautiful soft muted greys and really light blues. Some baby pink florals mixed in for that magical touch. I love the imagery of the mirrors and the windows and the envelopes. It's giving soft girl, and as a soft girl, I approve. It's also got this beautiful silver iridescent detailing that catches the light so beautifully. Enough said. I think we all know by now that I can't resist a vintage frame, but look how cool these ones are. They have an actual mirror inside. I love that it's a little fuzzy too, like an actual antiqued glass kind of situation. You get 2 of each design in the set, 5 designs in total, and this is just one of the variations. There are other shapes and sizes too. It's worth noting these ones are not stickers. You can't peel off a backing and stick them straight into your journal. You're going to need some kind of adhesive middleman. Oh hey look, that's you. Hi! While we're on the topic of ornate framing devices, these 3 are all from the same listing. They are lace-inspired frames, which is not an uncommon thing to come across, but what is uncommon about them is their beautiful smoky colour palette. These ones are not your grandma's doilies. These ones are doilies with an edge. These ones are doilies but a touch goth. These corner ones, I definitely like some more than others. I think some of them I can see myself using a bit more easily than others. A few of them are giving like 2010s vector art, which is a little bit less my vibe, but most of them I do really like. Again, these ones are available in some other styles as well. I've picked 3 of them, but you can also get them all bundled together in a pack. Kind of like this. Actually, exactly like this. Hey look, more amorphous blobs. I went for the full set with all the colorways of these kind of galaxy feeling amorphous blobs this time, so I feel like they have a good reason to not have a shape, you know? Where were these stickers when I was setting up April for my mystery journal? They would have been so perfect. While I went very over the top and got every single colorway for this one in the bundle, you can also just get these ones individually if you like. They're PET stickers, which means they're on a plastic backing, so you can sort of see through the edges of the sticker. Fantastic for everyone who hates the white line around the edge of a sticker when you're using a paper sticker. Don't have to worry about that with PET, but because it is plastic, it is a little shiny when you put it on the page. So if you don't like the way light reflects off shiny things in your journal, then maybe you'd probably want to avoid PET stickers. I personally really like them. Each of these packs comes with 20 stickers inside. You get 10 different designs and 2 of each sticker. I feel like most of them give Galaxy, but check out the black version. This is for all of the girlies who read the books with shadow daddies. This is for your reading journal. It is perfect. Amorphous blobs for the win. This next one's for the cottagecore girlies. These are so gorgeous. These ones are little pieces of paper with embossed florals on them, and they are so cute. Bit weirdly named though, so we'll start with this variation, which the image for the product listing on Journalsay calls not yet ended? Look, I got no idea, but I do think these are beautiful. They're really giving folk art. They're on a lovely textured paper. It's a little thicker than I typically like in my journal, but because they're embossed, you sort of need somewhere for the paper to go, you know? I always love a frame, I always love a floral frame, and you get 4 of each design. It's so hard to pick up the embossing detail on camera. You can mostly really see it when you flip it over and check out the back. It's much easier to see with your real eyeballs, I promise, and also you can feel it with your fingers, which is very, very nice. The other variant I chose is called Flower Contract for some reason, and these ones feel like embroidery to me. They're not embroidered, they're just embossed flowers like the previous one, but they give the feeling of an embroidered hanky or something. The shapes of these ones are really fun too, although some of them won't cut very well. You can see I'm having to pull off some of the extra paper, like it hasn't completely come off in the cutting process. It's not the end of the world, I could just kind of tug it and it would come off, but interesting. I'm also missing one of the pink circular ones in the bottom there, but that's okay. Super adorable. I can't wait to get these into a journal soon in some kind of a theme. It'll be so cute. And for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, maybe perfect for spring. Good timing, right? Is there anything that has the journaling community in a chokehold the way that vintage ephemera does? We love a ticket. We love a stamp. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm no exception. I love a ticket and a stamp myself, so I'm not judging you. This set has a really fun variety of shapes and sizes and colors and prints. They're all just different little bits and pieces that you can layer together to make a more interesting page. Lots of them have text on them, and it's not really necessarily meant to be text that is functional in your collaging or journaling pursuits or is even really meant to be read. One of them actually just has lorem ipsum print written on it, like the placeholder Latin. But I love the colors. I love the muted tones we've got going on here. I like that some of them are little circles and some of them are like little swing tags. I've just picked one from this listing, but they do have this available in a bunch of other colors and styles as well. So if the ones I'm showing you here aren't quite your vibe and you're like, too muted, Erin, too pastel, what are you doing? Don't worry, they have other options for you. You get 100 little bits of paper in this pack, 50 different designs and 2 of each. I also just want to call out this one. It's got some really funny text on it that's very relevant for Brisbane at this time of year still, unfortunately. It says, "Everything is very warm." Moving into our next category, which is notebooks and storage. And we're going to kick it off with this cute little traveler's size notebook cover and inserts. The notebook cover here, the soft blue I've chosen, was my favorite, but it's available in a bunch of different colors. This was just the one that jumped out to me. I love a dusty blue. I've never had any of the official Travelers Company stuff, so I don't know how this would compare, but it seems pretty effective for a cheap and cheerful option. And it comes preloaded with 3 inserts inside already, just already tucked into the elastic that holds it in there. This notebook style is really popular because you can swap out the inserts depending on what you need for that day at class or where you're going or when you fill one up. So the ones preloaded inside mine were a gridded, a lined notebook, and a blank one at the back as well. Having never had a notebook with this structure before, it's just really fascinating to me. I like looking at it from the top because you can't really tell that everything's just held in there with elastic. It feels very secure. I wasn't sure when I picked this one out whether or not it would actually come with inserts already, so I grabbed some extras as well. I got the lined version and the gridded version, and I think of the 2 of them, well, of the 3 really, the gridded version is the one that I personally prefer the most. There's no dotted option, unfortunately. Flake sticker hoarders, do I have the solution for you? And it's also in a traveler's size. This little clear ring binder and insert set is made for people who want to store, actually I think K-pop cards, I think it's actually made for that, but I like using this kind of thing to store my stickers. I have an A5 size one of these that I also got from Journalsay that has been really useful, but this one seems fun for traveling. And I also grabbed the inserts for inside. There are 3 different varieties of insert. The one I'm adding now is just one single long pocket, which I think will actually be really useful for a certain kind of sticker. I have a lot of them at the moment. And there are 2 variations that have 2 pockets, and they're kind of both the same from what I can tell. I think the dimensions of the pockets are ever so slightly different. Mitsu came to try and help me figure it out. He doesn't know either, but they have 2 pockets on them, and that's good for storing less long and skinny stickers. So now I'm all set. I've got this loaded up and ready to fill with flake stickers. We're moving on to another category now, and this one is pens, including some weird ones. Not these ones though, these are not weird. These are some good old highlighters. They're double tipped. There's a more colourful version too, but I chose the Taro colorway because I think it looks really nice with all of these different highlighter colours together. Because when I picked these out, I was thinking maybe it's time for me to try my hand at annotating a book. I don't know, what do you think? So one end of the pen has a pretty standard highlighter chisel tip, and the other end has this kind of bullet nib, but it's quite rounded, so that would be really good actually for highlighting individual lines of text in a novel with pretty small print. Or, you know, like a textbook, obviously if you were studying it could come in handy for that kind of thing too. There are 6 pens in the set and they're divided across the packaging kind of like half on one side, half on the other. Half of them are purple and half of them call themselves blue, although one of them's kind of grey, but I do think these colours are really, really pretty together. I've been entirely spoiled by my Kindle, but let me know if you want to see me try to annotate a book with these. These glitter gel pens are transporting me back in time, so let me paint a little picture for you. The year is 2001 and you're in Japanese class in school, and this is your preferred pen of choice for learning hiragana. Actually, my preferred glitter gel pens of choice at the time were much more pastel coloured than these ones, but I think this set is really fun. I'm honestly not usually a gel pen person. I find that waiting for them to dry is quite difficult for me, but I have been craving having a gold and a silver gel pen for tiny little details in journal setups that are smaller than you can get with a paint marker, so guess why I picked these out? The gold and the yellow look pretty similar in the barrels, but on the page they are differentiatable. That's not a word, you can tell them apart. Not sure I'll be using most of the other colours, but I love the gold and silver. Speaking of gold and silver, this is a paint marker set. It doesn't call itself that in the product listing, but that's what it is. These are double-ended pens, so on one side you've got a bullet nib and on the other side you have a brush tip, and it's a really soft, big brush tip. Kind of reminds me of the Tombow size brush tips on the dual brush pens, but metallic and paint rather than just a regular water-based marker. I go through gold paint markers, I use them quite a lot, so that's always good. I love a silver as well, never hurts. They work really well with stamps and stuff like that too. The thing that confuses me about this little pack, partly is that they don't go over themselves very well. Yes, I did just accidentally dot the letter V. Didn't mean to do that, was supposed to do the I, sorry about that. Some of my other paint markers go over themselves really nicely, which I like, and I wasn't sure about these 2 white ones. I wasn't sure if they were different in some way, so also you couldn't see them on the paper, so trying them out on a little yellow sticky note here. They're just the same pen twice, I'm pretty sure, and I love a white paint marker. They're really good for fixing mistakes when they're a good white paint marker, so I thought I'd give that a go so I could advise you one way or the other on this. Unfortunately, no, these are not going to be a favourite white paint marker for me unless you're working in like a craft paper or a black page journal. I scribbled some Pigma Micron on the page here and I'm just trying to go over it with the white. It would need a couple of layers. You'd have to let them dry in between as well, which I'm not really allowing it to do, so you could cover it, but I don't know if I would recommend these ones as like a go-to white paint marker for me. Peter Pauper Press still wins. Let's get into some wacky and weird pens, and these ones are also making me nostalgic because one end of these pens is a little stamp, which I think I had some of those when I was a kid, but I don't completely remember. The other end is this big bullet nib that you're supposed to be able to use for dots, kind of like the Kuretake Zig dot pens, but nowhere near as good. Watch me freeze here because I just tried to push hard to get a decently big dot and I pushed the pen back into itself by accident on my first time ever using it. Unfortunate. But here's the bit we really care about, which is the stamping part, and this is also not really working so well for me. It's supposed to be a flower, but I'm finding that I'm not able to get the whole surface of the stamp to come in contact with the journal page as much as I would like, so I'm kind of having to rock it around, and then it's really saturating. It's kind of coming out almost like a fountain pen ink does when you saturate the page with one of those. So is this user error or are these just not that easy to use? I don't know. I also can't tell from the barrel of the pen whether the ink is supposed to be the same colour on both ends or if they're a little bit different, because the colour of the dot end is looking nothing like the colour of the stamp end, and I don't know if that's me or if they're supposed to be the same, because the barrel of the pen is the same colour on both ends, so I assumed they were supposed to be the same colour, but maybe they're not. I don't know. What do you think? The nostalgia factor and the novelty of these has been really fun for me to play with, and I am the first to admit that I am a bit of a snob when it comes to pens, so the user experience of these is kind of driving me crazy a little bit. These might be really fun for you if you don't take pens as seriously as I do, but if you do take pens as seriously as me, I don't think I'd recommend them. That said, the dot end could work really well as a fine highlighter, like the ones that we tried out earlier, so there's that. Here's a really close look at my results. Maybe I should have tried one of my little stamp fabrics underneath, I don't know. And I've saved the most exciting for last for our pen category. These ones are fine liners, but also roller stamps at the same time. Once again, these are dual-ended pens, so on this side you've got the little stamp roller thingy. It kind of reminds me of one of those dermal microneedling pen things, but way less scary. And to be honest, I didn't pay much attention to the other end of the pen, but once I pulled the lid off, I was like, oh wait, it's a fine liner? I was for sure expecting some kind of a marker situation, so that was a surprise to me. I don't know if this is because it was the first time using the pen and it had a lot of ink saturating the roller, or if it was just a user experience issue. I didn't have enough practice. I needed to kind of warm up to it a bit. You got to use a pretty light hand, but still firm enough to push the whole roller down on the page. That first bit there, didn't go so well. And I'm not sure what kind of ink is in this pen, but that also bled through the page, that first bit there. So I don't think it's an alcohol marker. It doesn't smell like an alcohol marker, but it certainly behaved like one in that top part of the purple one there. The heart one I had a lot more luck with. I feel like that went onto the page really well. Likewise with this little wiggly line. It's very cute. Love the color of this one. None of the correctly applied bits of the stamp roller have bled through the page. It's only the spots where it's gotten a little bit out of control, like this green one here as well. It took me a second to work out how much pressure I was needing here. And it seems like the continuous designs are a little bit easier to get a good roll on. The ones where the designs actually break up seem to be a little bit harder. I don't know what it is about this orange one, but I was not having a good time, and it could be because I'm getting close to the bottom of the page and I'm about halfway through this journal and there's other stuff making the pages not flat so much anymore, but some of these were a bit of a struggle and then some of them were totally fine. Go figure. So who are these good for? Probably not me, honestly. I don't know that I'm the target market for these, but this could be a really fun way to spice up your notes without having to bring like tapes and stuff to school with you. I do think they're kind of fun. Our next category is maybe a little bit less exciting, but it's all about utility. These are the tools and adhesives. The pretty stuff is fun, but we can't craft without these. Funny thing about me, I like my utility stuff to also be pretty, which is why I picked up this cutting pad because it is so pretty. I have a cutting mat already and it's boring and grey and has measurements on it. This one has beautiful gold roses, which I think is so beautiful. I don't know what's going on with this bass clef over here though, like what's he up to? There are a couple of music notes around, like sprinkled elsewhere on the design. There's these little quavers up here, semi-quavers. I don't know what they're doing. They're all a bit lost without a stave, but I guess we'll just let them live. It's also reversible. There is a cool design on the other side too. I think this would make a fun mouse pad as well. In case you haven't come across a cutting mat before, you whack this behind your paper so that you protect your desk when you're cutting stuff. You could be forgiven for thinking this was also a cutting mat because it looks just like the Cricut one, funnily enough, but this is not for cutting. This is actually to help you get the backings off stickers if you're someone who struggles with that. Allow me to demonstrate. It comes with a clear plastic cover, which I've already peeled off, and the area with the lines on it is sticky. So you take your sticker that you cannot separate from its backing, you stick it to the sticky part, and the sticky part holds onto the sticker backing while you peel up the part that has the design on it, theoretically. Now look, separating stickers from their backing is my superpower, and I actually found this way much harder. I needed to enlist the help of my sticker tweezers, but once we got there, it was all pretty smooth sailing. So if you're someone who struggles with separating stickers from their backings, maybe this is a good choice for you. I didn't want to use this sticker yet, I was just demonstrating. It was a bit hard to get the backing back off as well as the front of the sticker, but we got there in the end. If I ever make a Journalsay haul video and I don't get the Norino Plus glue tape refills, then I've probably been kidnapped and something's wrong and you should try and help me. This is my favorite glue tape and it comes in this little refillable receptacle thing. This one's actually not empty yet, so I'm not going to replace it with one of the ones I just got, but you just slide this bit up and it pops out of the inside, and that's your little glue tape bit there on the front with the branding on it. You can just chuck that in the bin and replace it with the new one when you run out, and you're good to go with some fresh glue tape. When I first got this, I didn't think it was that good, but it has grown on me over time. I love this glue tape. So I got 4, of course. I am someone who goes through a lot of glue tape though, so I like to have a lot of it on hand at any time, and this one comes in a 4-pack, so that's efficient. I'm pretty sure I've used this one before and I had no complaints, so very happy to have it in my collection again. My favorite thing though was just the packaging and how it's got this cute little illustration in the top right corner. I don't think that has any bearing on the glue tape at all. I'm pretty sure they're all the same, but I do think that artwork is so cute. How much glue tape is too much glue tape? The limit does not exist. I ran out of good glue tape a while ago and I've been working my way through some crappy ones, and I just don't want to do that to myself again, so I got even more glue tape. These ones I think are exactly the same. They came in a set of 2. I haven't tried this one before, so I'll have to report back with my thoughts, but Anything that's made in Asia is generally better than the glue tapes made in Australia, that's for sure. This one's a little extra of me because I do already have some really pretty little vintage style scissors, but these ones are silver and the ones I already have are kind of a bronzy gold. Yes, I care that much about aesthetic that I'm trying to match my scissors to my themes, or maybe to my jewelry. I prefer silver jewelry on myself over gold typically, so this way I can mix and match my scissors to match my theme and my jewelry if I feel like it. Also, if I forget to take my scissors out of my carry-on luggage when I'm traveling through Singapore again and they confiscate my scissors again, I'll have a pair waiting for me at home. Sounds oddly specific, but it did happen to me. And it's time now for my favorite category, which is decorative tapes, both PET and washi. Strap in, because I have a lot to share and we're swatching them all, starting with these two cute little box sets of just solid colours and the occasional grid. These are 1 centimetre wide or 1.5 centimetre wide tapes, and you get 3 meters of them on the roll. That's not a huge amount of washi tape on a roll, so I'm doing some pretty sparing swatches here, but I did want you to get to see what they look like on the page. And also you can see that bleed through from the rolly pen earlier. Not a huge amount, but enough to make me a little grumpy. I go through my solid washi tapes, especially when I'm setting up the mystery journal, which is a journal that I give away as a prize on my channel. And I'm planning to start on the next one pretty soon, so that's why I need to stock up on my solids. I grabbed this black and white set because even though it's not something that would usually catch my eye, I realized I don't really have any solid washi tapes in these colors and I feel like I should. So now I have them, and I do tend to lean into darker things towards the end of the year around the Halloween time, so handy to have in the collection. Here's what they look like up close. The other variant I chose is called Rising Sun, which was also an excellent 2005 TVXQ song. We love our K-pop references. Actually, it's a very summery collection of kind of warm pastels. It's got lots of peachy kind of tones, some nice soft greens and blues as well. It's really screaming spring. In fact, looking at the colours swatched on the page next to each other, it's really making me think of some kind of delicious tropical cocktail. But seriously, these are the colours that I just use the most and so have run out of already, but now replenished, so no need to worry. You would not believe how often I find myself wanting a gold-gilded black celestial washi tape. It's so frequent, you would not expect it necessarily, but I am always looking for these, and so I grabbed this little set of 3. The pattern on these ones is not very long before you start to repeat, but I feel like with this kind of design, you don't really notice that so much. It's not super obvious, like that's the planet to the planet right there. It's probably the most obvious on that tape because it's the widest, but this one, it's not so obvious anymore, although this one does have kind of a weird folded line through the beginning of it. That seems to go away pretty soon. I'm actually going to use these ones to strategically cover the bleed through from that pen on the previous page. And then when you get down to a design like this one that's just scattered stars and little circles, you really don't notice the pattern repeating at all. This one comes from a whole bunch of sets of 3 black washi tapes with different patterns on them, so if Celestial's not your jam, they have others that you can check out. I like them. I think they're cute. You know I love a script washi tape, and I have a vertical one that I use pretty much all the time, but I didn't have a horizontal one, and I kind of love that this one has the aged antique paper kind of a color scheme going with it too. I've been enjoying that lately. Not usually a beigey brownie kind of gal, but lately, I'm into it. I can't give you a dramatic reading of this one because I don't think it's in English, and it's also almost kind of illegible, and I like that about it because I don't want to read the decorative tapes in my journal. I like these just how they are. Again, it's a pretty short design loop. You can see from the big letter B that's kind of in the bottom there where it comes back around, but in context, I really don't think you'd notice it, so I have no qualms. I really like this one. This set of little celestial starry sunset tapes is really, really cute, and I messed up. I liked it so much I guess I got it twice by accident. The edges on these ones are irregular, which is really fun. They're not just a straight edge on the tape. It does make them a little tricky to unpeel the roll though, because the edges are not solid. I definitely should have started a new swatch page for these ones. I don't know why I thought I could fit them all in this space at the bottom here, because I clearly can't. The texture of these ones is really interesting to me because they are a washi, but they're also a little bit thicker than your standard washi, which means that they're a little bit more vibrant as well. I really like them. I did not want to break up the swatches so that one of them was just in a random other place because I feel like you can't see them all together then. So I'm just going to put this one kind of on the edge and you can still get the idea. Look at how matte these are. There's no sheen on these at all. These ones, however, are shiny as heck, and quite similar to our Amorphous blobs from earlier, although they are Amorphous strips, I suppose. Again with the alcohol ink vibes, these ones are beautiful transparent little clouds of colour with gold accents, and they are sparkly and they are so beautiful. There are 6 colours available in this design, and I chose 4 of them, so I don't really know why I didn't go for the bundle where you get all 6, but for whatever reason, I didn't. It's possible some of them were out of stock at the time I was placing this order. That's the thing with Journalsay, stuff comes in and out of stock all the time, so you kind of have to keep an eye on things. There will likely be things I'm sharing in this video that are no longer in stock, but if you keep an eye on it, it might come back. These look like magic to me. I think they'll be so useful for my reading journal. I anticipate getting a lot of use out of these ones. And check out the shiny, the sparkles in the gold, but also the reflectiveness of PET. That's just the nature of plastic tape. Here's another PET tape that I think has massive reading journal potential, but tell me why the listing photo says trainee brochure. I don't understand. This one has a really fun Art Nouveau frame kind of thing going on. It's very fairy tale, it's very spring court, I'm obsessed. It is only frames though, which can sometimes make something like this a little bit tricky to use. Of course you can cut things down into just corners if you want to, but it gets a little fiddly then, so I don't know exactly how I'll be using this one just yet, but I will swatch a few of them for you so you can see. I also got this little spatula thing that I used to smooth out my stickers in a previous Journalsay haul. It came in a set with a craft knife, a glue pen, and something else. Oh, a pair of tweezers. So that's a really useful little bundle. I'll have that linked in the description as well in case you are interested in a sticker spatula. I use it way more than I ever thought I would, so highly recommend. Does this not scream Rivendell to you? I feel like there's a lot of Art Nouveau influence in Lord of the Rings elven spaces, and that's what this reminds me of, and I love it. PET though, so it is kind of shiny, just FYI. Clearly, I was really feeling some sky themes when I was choosing these items. These are some more irregular edged tapes. These ones are actually paper tapes though, and they're also all about sunsets and clouds and stars. Big watercolor painting vibes here too, which I really enjoy. And these ones have their own release backing, so they're pretty robust as far as not having to worry about them tearing unless you want them to tear. I do wish the design was a little more continuous though. I feel like there's a really obvious line where the artwork design starts again. I've cut that away so that you can't see it in this swatch here, but maybe less so on this one, but I feel like it was really obvious on the orange and blue variant. I'm loving the fantasy novel vibes of the deep blue one though. I think that is absolutely spectacular. At the time I'm recording this voiceover and getting this video ready to go live, that one's actually sold out, but I hope it will come back because I think it's really nice. And yes, I put a big wrinkle in it by accident, my bad. How much fun are these 2 PET tapes? I swear the next time I read a sci-fi novel, I am so prepared for my reading journal. These ones are based on circuit boards, I think. Also really love that this one has kind of pink tones to it. I feel like that's a little unexpected for the category of stationery that it is. It's a little tricky to see on a white page here, but I think this would be so incredible in a craft or a black page journal, or just layered over some other darker elements so you can see it better. And check out this one. I don't know about circuit board, but I just think it's really fun and cool. It's very like digital, but in the 90s. I feel like there was clothing in the 90s that looked like that a little bit somewhat. I think I had a jacket along these lines. I just think it's so much fun. And the holographic reflection is fantastic. Shiny, of course, because PET, but I don't think that's really a drawback for this one. They have a bunch of other designs. I just picked these 2, but there are so many and they're all really fun. This silver icicle design is also one of many, and I really like them all, but I picked this one because I liked it the most. Call it wishful thinking in a washi tape because gosh, I'd love to live in a place cold enough to actually get icicles like this. And that subtle little silver reflection is so beautiful. I go wild over a silver gilding in any kind of stationery because I feel like it's kind of rare. Everything is gold gilded, and I like that too. But there's something about silver. If you're hearing what you think sounds like sleigh bells in the background, don't worry about that. That's just my cat. She will not sit still, even though I'm recording voiceover. We got some more Amorphous blobs, this time mixed with some Amorphous wisps, and I like the look of these ones a lot. Pre-cut PET tapes are taking over the world, and I'm very happy about it, honestly. So these are stickers, but they're on a roll like a tape. So they're all cut out already. You can just peel them straight up. Something I really like about these particular PET tape sticker rolls is the variety of sizes included in the designs, because some of them are really big and some of them are much smaller, and I find that's really useful when decorating a journal page. Some of them aren't actually cut out to be used though. The really tiny ones, they just like stay there on the roll. You could cut them out yourself if you had the patience for that. I personally don't, but up to you. I picked the yellow and the blue, although this yellow actually calls itself cream, which is a bit weird. I picked the yellow and the blue, but there are 4 other colours to choose from, and you can get all 6 of them in a set too if you prefer. Once again, these are PET, so they are going to be reflective on your page if you don't like that, or if you are near a window when you journal or you're using artificial light. Sometimes they make it kind of hard to see what you're doing, but I do like how they show through whatever is underneath. I like how these ones can go kind of spacey. They could be nebulas and stuff, or they can be magic. I feel like they're pretty versatile. And our very last item for this video, again, we have clouds. These ones are also tapes that have stickers already cut out on them, so you can just peel them up and whack them on your page. They're very soft and watercolory and almost kind of fluffy, and the texture of this tape is so interesting. It's the most matte thing I think I've ever had the pleasure of using in my journal. I really like it. Again, there are 6 different color varietals in this one, and there's also an option to get them all bundled together, get the full set of 6. I can't imagine I wouldn't have wanted the full set, but it must have been sold out when I was choosing these things. It's still sold out at the time that I'm making this video. Hopefully they will come back, because different ones are in stock now versus when I got these. These ones also have a really nice range of sizes available, so you can fill in little spaces if you want to. You can fill up larger parts of your decoration space if you want to as well. It just makes it so much more versatile than if you only had large stickers or if you only had really, really small ones, because you can just use them in a lot of different ways if you have variety. Isn't it amazing how these are all really similar designs in a really similar style, but the difference of the colors completely changes the mood? Like the ones at the bottom here are so moody, and the ones in the middle are so like Barbie Fairy Floss Dreamcore. I love it. Let me get you a really good close-up here so you can see how incredibly matte these are. There is absolutely no reflection on these stickers whatsoever. There's a little bit on the backing paper that you can see on the rolls there where I've taken stickers off, but not on the stickers themselves. It's wild. It's time to talk dollar signs. So how much would all of this stuff cost if you wanted to get exactly what I got in my haul? I'm actually going to show you this in US dollars though. Sorry for the confusion when it was Australian dollars in the screenshots all the way through. Also, I chose these things before the spring sale, so it worked out to $148.10 US. Journalsay also offer free international shipping on all orders over $29 US, so no shipping cost necessary for this order either. I now have the impossible job of trying to store all of this, but let me know if you're about to go shopping, what caught your eye, and don't forget to let me know also your favorite stationery category down in the comments. If you're keen to keep watching, here's a link to my stationery hauls playlist so you can get some more stationery goodness in your life, and under that is a link to a video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy.